Hello and good evening. My guest tonight is Sister Sarah Palin. She has recently been speaking out against the liberty of the United States and its multicultural melting pot and religious freedoms that we all have rights to under the Constitution. The very rights that our forefathers fought so hard for. She has specifically leveled her gun sights against the Muslim Cultural Center being built 2 blocks from the World Trade Center's Ground Zero site. The site that George Bush helped to create with an inside job directed by Dick Buckshot Cheney. All that has been very well documented. Sister Sarah has also recently written a book that has lies and deceptions on most every page. That has been well documented by many researchers who take the time to actually check the facts. I really don't know where to begin as you are constantly tripping yourself up and hanging yourself in your own asshole on a daily basis. My first question is, since you say you can see Russia from your front porch, have you ever looked over your shoulder to see the Statue of Liberty and all that Miss Liberty represents during your recent visit to New York City? During that visit you were speaking out against freedom of religion and the melting pot that we all embrace as United States citizens. Except for you, of course.
Well, of course, Larry. As I was circling above Miss Liberty in my helicopter of dominance, I was there taking some pot shots at Miss Liberty, putting a few caps in her ass. Just like I do when I hunt down moose from the comforts of my helicopter of dominance. I would just love to bring down Miss Liberty. My friends Jorge Bush and Dick Buckshot Cheney got a really good start by stripping away many of our constitutional rights with a Homeland Security bill. Of course, it took a whole lot of lies and major deceptions unleashed on the unsuspecting public in order to slam that bill through.
Well, that gives me something to work with. Apparently you are into a dominatrix style of sexuality mixed in with your teabaggers' misguided politics. Mostly just a dead end of anger with no management. That is what most teabaggers represent, never ever offering any real solutions.
Well, of course, Larry. Why do you think I spent $600,000 on my leather wardrobe during the election that I helped loose for the Republican Party? The more I talked, the quicker the real Republicans ran away in droves. The election results prove that beyond a doubt. No question about. I did more damage to the Republican Party than any of the opposition could possibly do in 100 years. I did it in a few short weeks.
Well, yes, you did.
I'm not sorry to say that I just had a moose meat sandwich. It's from the moose that I spent $25 to hunt down from a helicopter of dominance. I could have easily gone down to the hometown butcher in Wasilla and paid $12 a pound for the moose meat. I just love to get pounded by any guy that has moose-sized meat properly packaged.
Speaking of properly packaged, what's the deal with you spending $600,000 on wardrobe during the elections?
Well, so many of my followers only have sex in order to have babies. You know those moral family values, so of course there are a lot of frustrated horny old men following me around. There is a lot of hate mixed in with those family values that the Christian right implements daily. My handlers figured out that they just love to fantasize about me as they sit back in their lazy boy armchairs and pleasure themselves for hours on end. Their surveys showed that they enjoyed me in my tight leather dominatrix outfits over the porn on the internet 10 to 1.
Well, is that why as governor you quit in midterm? Letting down all the misguided people that elected you. That shows that you're a real quitter and could never be considered for any office position in Washington.
Let me explain it, Larry. I was forced to have to face the truth about me and how I had been lying to the public on all sorts of things. Since I could not face the hard questions from the real press, I could not have the answers scripted like I do on phone news. So quitting in midterm, letting down all the people that voted for me, was the only answer.
So do you still have all of your tight-clad dominatrix leather outfits?
Well, of course, Larry. In fact, that is what you just heard, a fart up against tight leather. In fact, that moose meat sandwich sauce is now on your studio chair here.
Well, that pretty much sums up how you feel about all Americans' constitutional rights and freedom of religion. But now I must ask, how much money have you made since losing the election for the Republican Party and quitting midterm for personal gain?
Well, Larry, just in the last year alone I have made over $12 million.
$12 million. That's a far cry from $12 a pound moose meat. Regardless of whose pants your daughter is unzipping with those baby-making family values.
Most of that money came from my Bilderberg Group corporate-sponsored speaking gigs. The Bilderberg Group happily overpays me. as they know that I really represent the top 2% of the richest. Not the bottom 98%. Although I really fool all my misguided followers. I laugh in my bed at night knowing they will never have a real chance at the so-called American dream. All of us top 2% of the richest split up 9 slices of the American pie dream. The other 98% get to share in the remaining 2 slices.
Talking about a completely rigged system of deception. How is your stint going on over there at Fox News? I know you are under contract with them as a paid on-air consultant. I don't know how so many teabaggers can't figure that one out. It's really hilarious to think that you're some kind of legitimate consultant. It's almost as bad as when they put that criminal Karl Rove on the air.
Well, they pay me very well to say anything they want me to say. I'm just a mouthpiece for Murdoch and the rest of his cronies. You see, Fox News is really a media outlet for the teabaggers' political arm and misinformation. As I have soiled my tight leather pants, as you can hear, and have ruined your studio chair. Just like I had ruined the liberty and justice for all with freedom of religion.
Well then, my last question is coming from the internet viewers. A Native American Indian asks, if you're so bent on this religious ethnic cleansing, who's next? Considering that the Native American has been fight terrorism since 1492. I think that's a pretty legitimate question.
I'm sorry, the question was not scripted beforehand. I'm not prepared to answer that.